Hello and welcome. If this is your first time visiting, please be sure to check out my other repair videos. To support the channel for free, all you have to do is subscribe, comment, and like. Now let's get on to today's video. Hello guys and welcome back. Today we're going to be working with the 1993 Honda Civic, and what I'm going to use it for is I'm going to demonstrate to you how to check the transmission fluid level in this vehicle. A few months ago I put out a video on how to replace the axle in this vehicle, and I said something that was a little bit arrogant about checking it yourself. See for yourself. One more thing I'll say is if you did lose any more than just a couple of drops of transmission fluid, then you probably need to top it off. I'm not going to go into the procedure for that. There's plenty of videos for it. So there you go. So now I'm going to have my own video up showing you how to do this. The reason I'm going with the 93 Civic, because this will work on my Accord as well, and most of your older Hondas. The transmissions are set up about the same on all of them. The reason that I am going with this car is I'm about to make a road trip with it. If you remember a couple videos ago, I was talking about how great this car was, how dependable it was, the gas mileage, even though it was 28 years old. Well, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to head to Florida in a couple of days. For me, that's 600 miles there and 600 miles back. So I'm going to check the transmission fluid as well as a couple other things in this vehicle. So if you're going to top off or change the transmission fluid in this vehicle, I highly suggest that you use Honda Genuine. I'm going to go over some of the fluids with you right now. Okay, here I have two of the Honda original types of fluid that go in this vehicle. One is going to be the manual transmission fluid. Of course, if you have a automatic, you need to select the automatic version, as well as the power steering fluid. When I work on cars, I try to use aftermarket when I can, when I think it's appropriate, when I think it's going to be safe and dependable. One thing I found out in particular with these old Hondas is that the power steering fluid needs to be the Honda original type. If you decide to drain the system for whatever reason, doing a repair or whatnot, and you go back and say, okay, I'm just going to run by the AutoZone and pick up a Prestone or something like that, you're going to find out a week later that your power steering rack is leaking all over the place. It's going to leak all the fluid out of it. For whatever reason, when Honda designed these things, they were designed just for this type. So I know it's a pain. Go to the dealership, pick you up some of these if you think you're going to be needing it in the future. And the same goes for the transmission fluid. Honda has engineered this specifically for this vehicle. I suggest you go with it to avoid any leaks or trouble in the future. All right, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and start with some checks on this vehicle and show you what I'm going to do to get it ready for this road trip. And stay tuned to the end, and we'll show you how to check and top off the transmission fluid level in this vehicle. All right, the first thing that I'm going to go over, it seems kind of a no-brainer, is the spare tire. Okay, I'm going to take this out. I've already done that. I've checked over it, made sure the tread on it looks fine, no nails or anything ugly surprises. And this particular one goes to 60 pounds per square inch PSI. Filled it up to that and made sure that I'm good to go with this. Also, you want to make sure that you have all your jacks and your tire tools and the things to work the jack as well. In addition to that, I'm taking, of course, a set of jumper cables, and I'm also going to take some tools that'll be a socket set, my power probe, and just a couple little things like that for any kind of emergency that might arise that I might be able to take care of in a parking lot of an AutoZone on the way down. I'm not expecting anything, but you know, as the Boy Scouts say, you need to be prepared. Okay, and another thing I suggest you do is another no-brainer. You need to go around to all your tires, make sure that they're at the proper PSI. This particular tire says 32 PSI, so that's what I've already checked it and got it set at. I'm also, with the tire up off the ground, I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to check for any nails or foreign things that might be in the tire to go ahead and take care of that before it becomes a problem on the road trip. Finally, with the tire up off the ground on the two front tires, I'm going to check the ball joints, the upper and lower ball joints. Also, I'm going to check the ball joints on the tie rod ends. If one of these were to fail while your car is on the highway, I mean, you could literally lose the tire. You could just come off the car. Worst case scenario, with a ball joint on your tie rod end, if it were to go bad, you're going to start having excessive tire wear, and you're liable to lose a tire on the highway. So for the first test, what I'm going to do is put my hand on either side of the tire like this, and I'm going to try to turn it side to side. There should be no movement there. If you hear a clunk, that means that you have a tie rod end that's going bad, and you need to take care of that. Also, I'm going to take it from the top and the bottom, and I'm going to try to rotate it in this manner. And for that, I'm looking for a lower upper ball joint that might have gone bad. This tire passed the test. I've already checked the one on the driver's side. We're good to go. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get the car back down on the ground, and we're gonna start checking the fluid levels on the engine. All right, here's another no-brainer for you. We're gonna check the oil in this car. Make sure that we're topped off at the right level. If you're close to an oil change, mileage-wise or whatever, I suggest you go and take care of that and make sure everything's correct when you get on the road. This oil's been changed recently, so I'm not too concerned about it. Take it out, look, I'm up to the second hole, which shows that I'm where I need to be as far as the oil level. I'm also going to check the power steering fluid level here. This one has on the side, it has low and full. I've already topped that off with the Honda original power steering fluid. All right, and another thing that we're going to check is the belts on this vehicle. There are only two. Some cars have one Serpentine belt. The one for this car that runs the alternators in the back. You just want to give it a good visual inspection. Give it a pull, make sure it feels tight. That one looks good to go. I know it's good to go because I replaced that not too terribly long ago when I rebuilt this engine. And we're going to look at the power steering pump belt as well. We're going to give it a visual inspection, check the tension, make sure everything feels good. All right, now we're looking up underneath the car. This is just behind the passenger tire on this vehicle. Some Honda's transmissions are on the passenger side, such as this one. Others are on the driver's side. If you look at the front of your engine, your exhaust is on the front, then your transmission should be over on this side. If your exhaust system's on the back, your transmission is probably going to be on the other side of that car. All right, so there are two plugs that we're concerned about on this. This first one here is your drain plug for your transmission. You see this square that's inside of that. It's easy to back that out. What you need is a 3/8 inch drive socket, and all that does is you put that in and you use that to turn the plug out of the car. This drain plug is magnetic. When you take it out, look at the end of it, you're probably going to see some metal shavings on it. Don't be alarmed. That's designed to do that. When you start seeing big chunks, that's when you're probably going to have a problem. So if your desire is to train the transmission, remove this plug, have your drain plug drip pan ready to go underneath it. Okay, this up at the top here is the fill plug, but not only is that the fill plug, it's also the fluid level check plug as well. So when you take that plug out of the transmission, if it's full to the top or it's at the proper level, it's going to drizzle some transmission fluid out of it. If you take that off and there's no transmission fluid coming out, then you need to probably top that off, and I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a minute. That is a 17 millimeter. It can be kind of tight, kind of hard on some of your older cars that haven't had that taken out before. You may need to use a breaker bar to get it off. And one important thing about the Honda transmissions, the vehicle needs to be flat and level when you do this. If you have one side of the car jacked up, for instance, if you thought it would be easier to get to these parts with the tire off, which it is, then you would need to lower the car down after you get the tire off and make sure that it's level with the other side before you check the fluid levels. All right, and this is looking down the top of the engine. What I've done is I've taken the air box off because of that hose that runs around and goes back up into your throttle body. It's kind of right over the area that you need to work at. You don't have to take yours off. I just took mine off to make it a little bit easier to film the next part that I'm going to show you. So if we're looking straight down on this transmission here, you can see the fill plug as well as the level plug. So we're going to remove this at 17 millimeters and we're going to see if any of the fluid drips out. All right, so coming in from the top, you're looking from below. I have a 17 millimeter here on my 1/2 inch drive. And once I'm on, break that loose. Now what I'm going to be looking for is any transmission fluid leaking out. If I have none come out, that means that my system is not full to Honda's spec, and I'm going to add to it. So you see there's none leaking out. I'm going to show you how I'm going to get a funnel in there and do that. You can't just take a regular funnel and stick it in there since it's on the side. I'm going to show you what you can buy for about $3 at AutoZone. All right, this is the tool that I'm going to use. You see it's just a basic funnel, and it has a rubber tube that's bendable that comes off the bottom of it. So what I'm going to do, come back down, I'm going to insert that tube just into the transmission there. My light turned, hold on. All right, there you go. And now I'm going to put the camera back under, and I'm going to add some fluid to it until we see it start to drip out. And make sure you have your drip pan underneath it. All right, I'm going to begin adding. Go very slow because it's probably not too low unless you've drained the whole thing out. If you have drained the whole amount out, it's probably going to take around 2 quarts to top it back off, maybe just a little bit more. So you need to make sure that when you buy the fluid that you have enough to complete the job. Okay, I'm going to pull that out. We're just going to take a look at it and see it's running out of the transmission now. So I'm going to go ahead and add the plug back to that, and we're going to call it good. All right, we're going to tighten that back down with our 17mm. Done. I am going to come back and clean that spilt fluid off of the side of the case there to make sure that if I have any leaks in the future that they're obvious. So there you have it. I hope that was easy enough to understand. I hope I didn't make too many mistakes when explaining how that's done properly. This video will be coming out on Friday, December the 25th. If you celebrate Christmas, I'd like to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Thank you very much for watching today, and I'm going to see you guys on the next video.